Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing? Oh, Barry, hello. How's everyone doing out there? Hopefully ready for a nice hour of chill meditation, talking about meditation, just kind of taking an hour for ourselves. Swa, hello. Ah, wonderful. Swa is here too. Feeling good? Awesome. That is what we're going for. It's feeling good. How are you, Swa? How are things? Here for some meditation. I need to get myself. I recently picked up a face tracker, so I have a face tracker on my index now, and I need to get a face for that. I'm well, taking a break from work, here and now. How are you? I'm really glad you're taking a break from work. That's wonderful. I'm doing really well. I'm doing really, really well. Been having some really, really good sits. Been having some really nice walks in the forest. Doing some forest meditation, which is its own kind of thing. Definitely a very healing experience to walk around in the forest while meditating. Time for a face. I would love that. That would be lovely. Let's see here. What else is out there? How's meditation been for anybody? How's it going? How's it feeling? Any things that you want to share or talk about initially? We'll talk about it throughout the hour, but you wanted to touch on something before we got started with our weekly guided meditation. There we go. Anybody been having some really good sits? Any really nice meditation experiences? Aside from the forest, I've been practicing trying to lay out everything, every sensory experience that I'm able to focus on in a stable way. So if it's sound outside or the fan of my PC going while I'm sitting in my office, the sound of like a bird chirp, and then trying to combine that along with like the pressure of my body where it's sitting and how my feet feel on the ground, and then trying to put all of that, what all that feels like, kind of like on a stage in front of me. So not worrying so much about where that is in relationship to my body, but just sort of like taking all of that sensory experience and then pushing it forward, and as if I were watching a screen, and putting them, trying to balance all of that sensory experience on sort of like an equal energy level, right? Like nothing is too loud, nothing is too quiet, just kind of all like equalizing, like music equalizing, actually. Hey, think about it that way. For the musicians out there in the audience, which I know we have at least a couple, is yeah, think about meditation as equalizing your sensory experience. You're moving different sensory experiences, if you want to think about the metaphor as just different frequencies, and you're kind of just moving the equalizer knobs, the little tabs up and down to kind of balance it all out so that it sounds right? So that reality vibrates right. Low passing reality. I was waiting for that. But yeah, no, but it really is that, right? Like we're not trying to cut a whole bunch of sound away. We're not trying to turn the volume down on our brain. We're not trying to avoid the sound. We're figuring out how to sort of adjust all of that experience. And sometimes those sensory experiences can be really strong and overwhelming, right? Like pain or distress or sometimes sadness or whatever that experience is, whatever's going on. We can narrow our whole brain right into that experience, and that's really intense, especially if it's not what we would consider a positive experience, right? But just sort of like something that's not pleasant. The way that we've sort of trained our center of attention with the way that we currently interact with our environment, all of the stimulus and all of the attention-grabbing stimulus that's been very carefully worked on and engineered to grab your attention. And so we tend to dive into a stimulus. But if you were to look at the whole field, everything that's happening, and then just kind of adjust, right? So that they're all more or less able to not stand out from each other, but just kind of all be present. You get a wider view, right? You get a wider picture. You get the full sound, you get the full song, whatever is playing, back to that equalizing metaphor, right? And so think about that when we're meditating, is that we are sort of trying to fill in that balance of energy. And that works, by the way. Again, we talked about this last time. We talked about how to kind of deal with some challenges in your meditation. So that the aspect of falling asleep, for example, getting sleepy during meditation, is because our mind is interpreting that lack of sensory experience as though we should be going to sleep. There's not enough stimulus for our brain. Now, the more you meditate in a quiet environment and work to keep your mind engaged with what's happening, the less that becomes an issue, because your mind sort of gets used to that low input state, quiet, calm, and it doesn't necessarily take that as a signal to like, oh, I see, we're supposed to go to sleep now. And in the same way, when if you're meditating and you're feeling that sleepiness, you can balance that energy. You can like up the energy, right? Move the equalizer knobs up a little bit. Turn up the definition and the focus on like where your body is, or how your feet feel on the ground, or the temperature of the air, or the sound around you, or any sort of number of inputs that you have available to you. Think of, this is really cool, think of the inputs in your environment, what you're experiencing. Think of them as streams of sound that you can combine and make music with, right? Think of it that way. You have at your disposal everything that you're experiencing, the sounds and feelings and pressure of gravity and your breath and all of these things, they're all just sort of like a really neat little catalog of sensory experience, and you can take any of them. Sight works. Sight is challenging because it can be really easy. We're so used to taking what we see and then contextualizing and going into our mind and thinking about it, which is not what we're trying to do, right? We're trying to stay focused on our sensory experience, not think about it. Different, right? But you can use sight as well, whether that's the glow of an incense stick or a candle or a visual aid, like the one behind me. Whatever captivates you, whatever gives you that sensory experience that you think you can focus your mind on, do so, and then balance out the energy, so that you can stay present in the moment, not feel sleepy, that sort of thing. So that I think that's a cool way of thinking about meditation and our sensory experiences. How do we relate to it, and then how do we balance it? Because that's what we have, that choice. That's the cool part. That's the exciting part of all this, right? Like this is more than just, this is going to make me feel good or help me focus better or help me work better. Meditation is about working with your reality and figuring out a good relationship with it at a very basic level, at a very sensory experience level, instead of in your mind, in the prefrontal cortex, in the contextualization, in the thought process. So you can start thinking about, like, what is my sensory experience like, and kind of adjust it so that it isn't so overwhelming or intense or unpleasant, for that matter. And so that you can direct energy where you want it. The less energy you spend. So think about it this way, right? Like if you're playing an instrument or playing a song and you're mixing and all that sort of stuff, like if it's all out of whack, if all the energy out of whack, and you're constantly moving bars up and down, up and down, up and down, nothing's really going to balance out. And you're just going to spend all this energy trying to figure out, what do I need to move here? What do I need to move here? Will that thing quiet down? Will this thing quiet down? And you're just, all this energy goes there. But if you were to just kind of set everything up so that it just kind of sounds right, so that reality doesn't sound all very discordant or too loud, and you just kind of balance that out really nice, then a lot of that energy that you were spending on before can go to contextualizing and thinking and deciding and having a little bit of agency in space. So I seem to be a little bit uncalibrated. So I'm going to calibrate really quickly here. I'm not going away. I'm just going to not submit you to a T-pose. And then I will be back. And if you have any other comments or questions or anything like that before we get started, let me know. I really want to hear what's going on with all of you. What's going on with your meditation practice. Anything at all around meditation. I'd love to hear from you. And if not, we'll get going with our meditation session. 1 second, I'll be right back. Just recalibrating. Let's see. I am straight now. I'm not crooked at the waist. There we go. T-pose on him. Is that like 3D dominance assertion? You know, kind of like an anteater, right? Like. Vian, hello Vian, our wonderful avatar master, avatar wizard. Look at what Vian has made for me. This is, by the way, this is my own custom avatar. This is not like just one of our avatars. This is one of our avatars, but this is my own custom avatar. Can you guess why? Isn't it cool? I have my own wings. Also, whoa, my waist, sorry. Also, blue and purple. Look at this. Something's weird about my hip tracking. Here, I'm gonna T-pose on you. Now what? There we go. It's like a magic trick. Let me pop my hip back into place. Become an anteater. Did a sick job with design? Yes, absolutely. That's the other thing. This is an Ohm design, which is, look at this. Both Ohm and V made this avatar. I feel very lucky to have my own custom. And then magically rigged by the Mad Wizard Vian. Stoked for a face though. Yes, a face would be nice. Especially now that I have face tracking. I wonder if, well, anyways, we'll talk about that later. Let's get to meditation. Meditation. All right, let's take a seat. Make yourself comfortable, or stand if you will, that's fine too. Or lay down. You can even walk around your space if you need to while listening. Maybe I'll share a little bit of like how to do walking meditation a little bit more. We've covered a lot of sitting meditation, but you can just as easily go on some walking meditations. And I'm happy to like cover that a little bit if we need to. Just these screens a little bit. There we go. Okay. So in walking meditation, here, I'll just talk a little bit briefly before we super get started. Sorry. One last thing. I'll talk a little bit about walking meditation. So right now we're about to do breath meditation, and what we're doing is focusing on the breath and trying to keep our center of attention, our focus on every aspect of that process, how it feels in our body, and many, many other sensory experiences around breathing. And we'll go through a process of kind of centering in on that experience. With walking meditation, instead of the breath, instead of your chest movement, instead of the feeling of air going into your lungs, what you focus on is the bottom of your feet as the experience is changing, right? As you're experiencing breath because it changes, right? It's always happening. It's not really, well, it's hard to decide, right? Whether it's voluntary or involuntary, because to a certain degree, you can control it. You can control your breath. You can decide how deep or shallow it goes, how fast or how slow, to a certain degree, right? You have a certain aspect of control over your breath. But then when you don't focus on it and you refocus on something else, it just keeps going, right? So it's kind of a bit of both. And you have to think about walking in the same way, in that you're walking, you're not really thinking about walking. It's just kind of happening. You've decided intentfully in your mind, I want to be in this other physical location. And then you start moving. And that's a whole process, right? Your feet are lifting off up the ground. There's multiple points of contact with the ground. You're lifting your foot. You're moving it forward. It comes down. Hopefully you have good walking posture. So you're coming down, on the front of your foot and then finishing with the back. And so what you do is you try and notice every aspect of that. Same way as we're trying to notice the breath, right? The in, the pause, the out, and then the pause, the in, and then the pause, right? That whole cycle, that circle of meditation of on our breath you can apply to walking. It's really cool too. I highly recommend it. If you've ever just gone for a walk and been 100% present. Very often we take walks as a like, hey, let's go into our minds and work on a problem, or thinking about the future, or figuring out a puzzle that's in our mind, or thinking about a relationship or something, right? We tend to get lost in our minds with walking because it helps us. It's almost like a way of accessing parts of our brain while we're walking, because we're occupying ourselves with the process of walking. So it's kind of an easy way to approach thought. But if you were to refocus on your present sensory experience, mostly situated at the bottom of your feet, suddenly the whole world just kind of gets like really bright and really defined and really rich, colorful, sound, everything just kind of comes suddenly into a little bit more focus. It's as if your lens, your wide-angle lens of your walking experience was just slightly out of focus. And then you notch it, and then suddenly it goes like really nice and crispy. That's walking meditation. And you do that, on a nice day with in a nice, hopefully like green space or whatever your preference is for spaces. And it can be really quite an experience. And all you're doing is taking a walk and meditating at the same time. It's pretty amazing. Okay, that's walking meditation for you. So, since I imagine that we're not doing a lot of walking at the moment, I certainly can't. I can't leave because of this tether, unfortunately. Otherwise, sure. But since we're not going to do a lot of walking meditation, let's do some breathing meditation. So let's start by getting comfortable, sitting down, laying down, standing. Just get yourself nice and comfy. Imagine where you're going to be able to stay in one place for 15, 20 minutes. And begin by acknowledging what's happening in your environment. Cast that lens of attention wide and acknowledge everything that's happening. Sounds outside of your window or in your house or in your room. The feeling of your body, where it's lying or sitting, the pressure of it, the temperature of the air, any vibrations that you can pick up in the ground. Maybe you're next to a road, or there's an air handler or something. It's all okay. It's all sensory experience, and it's there in your environment. You can't make it go away, but you don't need to focus on it. You can acknowledge it and let it be and let it go by. Take a moment to take that survey and acknowledge everything that's happening in your environment. And as we gather what's happening in our environment, we can slowly start to bring that lens of our center of attention in towards the body, nice and slow and gentle. When you're moving your center of attention, when you're engaging in this practice, think of it as if you were sitting by a pool of water in nature, and the more soft and gentle and quiet you are with your movement, both of your mind and of your body, the more things will come out and won't be startled. Think about using that level of quiet and gentleness when it comes to your mind as you do this. Narrow into your body. Notice where your body is. your relationship to your space, the position, the way your legs are bent, where your feet connect with the ground, the pressure of gravity pulling your body down, the position of your arms and your hands, whether they're laying on your lap, the feeling of your clothes, how they gently shift as you move slowly, the comfort that they provide, the slight pressure on your skin. Feel the air on your skin. Is it cool? Is it warm? Is it flowing? Is it still? Note that. Everything that's happening is okay. You can't make it go away. You can just acknowledge it and decide what to focus on. Now's a good time to take a survey of your body. Is there any tension in your shoulders, in your lower back, in your neck? We walk around with body armor all the time, this armor of tension in our shoulders, as if we would fall apart if we don't keep some kind of push out to the external world in our body. Notice that. Notice how your body holds tension and where. Notice it in your legs, in your ankles, in your thighs. You can try asking for that tension to relax, but just acknowledging it is okay. It's there, and you don't need to focus on it necessarily. Now take a survey of your body, of what feels good. How does your body feel? Where does it feel good? What feels comfortable? What feels relaxed? Feels warm and fuzzy? What feels good? Like a good stretch or a good hug. Notice the parts of your body that are feeling good. Welcome them, acknowledge them. That's good sensory experience to add to the list of things that we want to have in our mind as we meditate. Those are good sound samples to make a song with. Bring them with you. Hold on to those good feelings. And let's narrow our center of attention towards our chest, where we're breathing. Feel your whole torso move, your upper torso move as you breathe, the whole process. Feel your chest rising and falling. Feel the movement of your clothes as you're breathing. And stay here for just a moment. Add in as much sensory experience that helps you stay present. If it helps, add the temperature of the air as it goes into your lungs and how that feels. You can add in what it feels like as you exhale and you feel some of that tension release. Add in as much as you need. And let's just stay here for a moment. Feel our whole torso breathe, rising and falling, rising and falling. If you find your mind drifting, you can gently come back to the breath. Or you can also add just a little bit more input to your mind to focus on. If you feel like you're drifting too much with just the breath, expand out to your body, or you can narrow to just one part. It's really useful to focus on the bottom of your feet and how they feel on the ground, the pressure. Try and add that together with your breath. Process of breathing. If one becomes too dull, hard to focus on the other one and try and bring them together. That experience is all happening at the same time. So it's the same moment. If you feel your attention is stable here on this nice wide picture of your torso, the process of breathing, you can bring in your center of attention a little bit more narrow, a little bit more focused on just your breathing, your lungs, and the process of rising, and then the pause, and then falling, and then the pause, rising. Try and follow the breath like that, like a circle. If there's any discomfort in your body, tension or pain, or even an itch, use that to focus on. What does it feel like in your body? Where does it start and stop? What is the shape of that experience? The texture? Where is it in your body? You can focus on all of that without actually thinking of the pain itself or the itch, the tension. And once you realize that it's just there and happening, come back to the breath or your body or the bottoms of your feet. And as our attention stabilizes on the process of breathing, increase the resolution of that process of what's happening. Notice every moment of your breathing, the start of your inhale, the middle part, the end of the inhale, the pause at the very top, the start of the exhale, the middle point of the exhale, the end point of the exhale, the pause at the bottom of the breath, and then the process starts again. Notice the temperature of the air, both on the inhale and the exhale. Notice the sensory experience as it rushes up into your nose, down through your trachea, down into your lungs. Feel the air reach to the very, very, very bottom of your lungs, all the way at the bottom of your diaphragm. Deep, deep, deep down. Feel as much as you can about that experience. If you're feeling sleepy, add in as much detail as you can, and if there isn't enough with breathing, add anything else that brightens your mind. You can feel resonate in your mind. If you've stabilized the mind on the breath, your body should feel good. You should feel calm, warm fuzziness wash over you. You feel that. If that happens, take that as an object of meditation. Notice it. Think of it as like a flame that you can grow. The more you focus on it, that good feeling in your body. we're syncing up all of our centers of attention with the present moment. The more we do that, the more we feel good about what's happening. We're not lost in our minds, we're not lost in tape loops in the past or thinking about the future. Everything is just okay right now. Feel that in your body. You've drifted off a little bit. Come back to the breath. Feel your breathing completely, richly. That whole process. Keeping our minds and bodies going. Breathing feels good. Feel your whole body breathe. Feel all of that oxygen reach the very tips of your fingers, the very bottom of your feet as you breathe in. Now gently start to acknowledge how you feel. Take another survey of your body. Take a little scan from top to bottom. Notice any remaining tension, any discomfort. And more importantly, notice anything that feels good, anything that's relaxed. Let go, softened, it feels comfortable, cozy. Notice your environment. How does the air feel? How do the sounds from your environment feel reaching your ears? How does the position of your body feel? Take a whole survey of your environment. Notice how everything is okay. Nothing is dissolving, nothing is falling apart. That warmth, that comfort, that calm. If your eyes are closed, you can gently open them. Before you move too much, take a moment to just move slowly. Feel that too. Feel how that moves. Stretch out slowly. Feel the stretching. You can always meditate. You don't have to pick a specific time. Even just as we've finished, right? We can continue. Feel your body right now. Take a little stretch. If you do yoga, yoga is meditation. It's just with your body. It's the same process. Yoga is being present in your body entirely. So if you like yoga, if you have any yoga stretches right now, those would probably feel really good. Just kind of like feel your back stretch out, your shoulders, your arms. That was really good. That was really, really good. That was like a 20-minute meditation that everybody did. I feel great. That was lovely. I feel like you were all there too. Feel like I had all of you here meditating with me, and that also feels really good. Shared meditation. I haven't talked a lot about that, but I think my goal, my personal goal, and I think also the vision that we have, our team Ovoid, and what we're trying to do is eventually I would love to share meditation with all of you in VR, not just here on Twitch. This is the start. This is how we say hello and find all of you wonderful people who are interested in meditation. But I really, really want us all to experience this together in VR, and I think that'll be a possibility sometime here in the future, maybe even sooner than we imagine. But shared meditation is just a completely different experience, a different level of being able to focus together on. Whoa. Hold on. Hi. 1 second. My headset died there for just a moment and I can't hear anything. Oh, that was weird. I think I'm back. Can you hear me? Can the stream hear me okay? Oh, I thought I lost power. Talk about having your reality turned off and on. When you're in a VR headset, your headset just shuts off. Yep, all good. I need to replace my cable. I don't have a wireless headset, unfortunately. That was very disconcerting. Just everything went to dark. No sound, no anything. Perhaps a meditation on mortality and virtual reality. How did that feel? I see we have a few people tuned in. You're of course always welcome to lurk. I'm not gonna call you out, but I'd love to hear how that felt, your experience. Do you have any questions? Do you want to talk about your practice? Anything that you've been having a challenge with in terms of your meditation? Any accomplishments that you want to share? You know, you were able to maintain your meditation, your center of attention stable for like 5 minutes and you're really excited about that. Anything. Hey, Amith, hello. You came in on our meditation. I didn't notice. Thanks for saying hi. Hi. Also, if there's any feedback on the stream itself, if you want to see something different or new, if you want to see something change, if you want us to cover different topics around meditation, as long as we're sort of in the realm of meditation, I think that's reasonable for us to do. So, you know, feedback always welcome as well, or asks, desires for this meditation. This is about you and your experience and what I can share meditation with, and hopefully we can grow together. Hopefully we can all develop a regular practice and grow together as meditators. Came in and relaxed and focused on your voice. It was great as always. Thank you, Amy. I really appreciate that. Always appreciate your presence, everyone's presence. It would be very different if I was just meditating by myself on Twitch. But it's absolutely lovely to have you here. It's part of the shared experience of meditating. Really, really grateful for all of you here. It really makes the experience special and unique every time. because all of you contribute. You add to the moment, to the experience, and you make it yours, ours, our shared experience. Hi, Manmarchi. How are you? It's good to see you. Is everyone having a nice chill time? Everything okay to go all right? Anybody having any discomfort, trouble? I know the last session someone mentioned that they struggled a little bit with meditation because it kind of felt a little bit like they were depersonalizing, which can be a problem in meditation, especially if you kind of get a little bit too into the deep end of the pool without having sort of gone through a little bit of practicing your swimming. A metaphor, of course, but I think very applicable. So I guess that's another thing I think maybe important to mention here as we get to the end of our session. I would actually highly encourage everyone to treat meditation with care. This isn't a innocuous activity. This is as if you were exercising, right? You wouldn't just go and bench press 300 pounds. You would probably hurt yourself. It would probably hurt your muscles. You'd probably tear something. Think of meditation in the same way. Don't try and bench press 300 pounds. Don't get yourself in too deep into your mind. Don't get too lost up in there. Meditation should be treated with care. Ground yourself as much as possible with reality. That's why your physical senses are the best way of meditating, because they're very much grounding. They're very much here, present in the moment, where you are physically. But do take care to ground yourself if you feel yourself a little bit too floaty and disassociated. That's always important. And remember that whatever comes floating up in your mind while you're meditating, this is something else I think isn't really discussed much, right? In mindfulness and meditation in general, we tend to take a very carefree attitude to it, right? We assume that if we meditate and we engage in mindfulness, that we should always obtain positive results. It will always feel good. It will always be a good experience. Nothing negative can come of it. But for those of us who have had difficult experiences in life, there can be traumatic experiences, there can be any number of things that exist in our mind as structures, as memory structures, as things that have happened to our mind and that perhaps we have put behind a door or put inside of a box for the sake of our mind and our body, to protect ourselves, to keep ourselves safe. Meditation can open up those containers that we've placed difficult things into sometimes, and we can feel ourselves experience negative emotions. We can feel waves of emotion or even somatic pain wash over our body. It can be scary sometimes. Ground yourself in the present moment. Remember that just like the sound outside your window, the sound of my voice, your breath, everything is going to pass by. Everything is momentary, temporary. It's always changing and fluxing and morphing. Nothing stays static. Nothing. Not even rocks stay static. They're constantly changing, just really, really slow, and so we think they look static. But everything is changing. Everything is moving. So if you're meditating and difficult somatic experiences in your body start bubbling up, you can always stop. That's at step 1. 2, if you want to continue meditating, stay in your body, stay grounded, breathe, focus on your breath. If it becomes too much, please stop. If something becomes way too overwhelming, reach out to someone that you trust and care. Just normal self-care tips, right? No matter what you're doing when we're acquainting ourselves with our minds, when we're doing an exercise, right? If you're in the gym and you bend an ankle or something starts hurting and you're worried, you call out, you ask someone, hey, can you come over here? Can you give me a hand? Can you help out? Take care of yourselves. This is overall a really, really, really positive thing to do for yourself. You are helping yourself reacquaint yourself with your mind, the way that you move your center of attention and focus on the present moment. You're helping yourself not get too lost in the past or the future or in your emotions or your thoughts. This is all really good stuff. But we have to approach it with care as well. And take care of yourself always. Be kind to yourself, lots of self-compassion. Loving kindness meditation is another really good retreat. If you find yourself a little bit too on the deep end of your consciousness and how things work, come back to what it feels like to be hugged. Feel love for yourself and for other people. That's also really good. Any other questions? Anything that you want to bring up? Topics of conversation. We've sort of reached the end of the hour. So, hit me up with anything else. If not, we have a Discord, which I'm sure you've seen the links posted to in chat. Come on by. We have a meditation channel. You can ping me anytime there in the meditation channel. I'd be super happy to answer any questions. And yes, that was where I was going next. Thank you, Om. We have Carino on Thursday, a whole different kind of show than this. If you've been tuning in on Thursdays at 7 p.m. Pacific time, you'll know that we have recently purchased a space station. It's a little broken down. It has some really interesting features. Looks like it's maybe 1,000+ years old, possibly. And we have a big antenna array. We pick up cool stuff out of deep space. We have some guests on. We talk about VR. We talk about metaphysics. We talk about meditation. We talk about the consciousness. We talk about psychedelics. We talk about all sorts of cool stuff. It's really fun. I'm sure many of you know Om. Om is our host of the show. And we have guests. We have another guest coming on the show. This week, we have Dan Muzzy Bear. They are a longtime creative spanning across the mediums of music production, photography, graphic design, and most recently, analog glitch art. He spent the majority of the last 10 years as a touring musician and DJ, but over the pandemic shifted to the Web3 world. They have worked as a community manager for both the Heart Project and Frenzies, and Muzzy Bear is now working on building his own project that combines all of his passions into works of audiovisual psychedelic magica. That is the bio, the blurb for our guest next Thursday. Yo, come on by. That sounds super exciting. I can't wait for that. That's going to be so much fun. So yeah, that is, wow, I can't wait for that conversation. The Ovoid crew also hangs out on the station, in our avatars, in different avatars. And so if you are new to us, our project, what we're doing, you can get to know us. We hang out on the station. We talk about all those topics and more. We joke around a little bit, and we're just kind of ourselves. So, take that as you will. We are quite a group of individuals, that's for sure. So come on by. Yeah, come on by, hang out with the crew, hang out with Muzzy Bear. I imagine being a person, right? Yeah, imagine being a person. But yeah, come on by next Thursday. It's gonna be a lot of good fun. 7 p.m. Pacific time. Banana sandwich, hello. But yeah, if there's nothing else for today on the show, if there's nothing more that you'd like to talk about in terms of meditation or your practice, please, 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 I encourage you to continue this process. If you felt good today, if you enjoyed your set, keep doing it. 5, 10, 15 minutes a day. Get yourself a little timer. There's little apps for that. Insight Timer is the one I use. Their timer has recently been hidden away behind a bunch of menus, but you can find it under the profile section and it's free. Do a daily set. I promise you, next week, here's a challenge for anyone in the chat or anyone tuning in, listening on YouTube or on Twitter. Do a daily set, 10 minutes for the next week. I promise you, next week, you will have something to say about it. You will share in chat, yo, or however, maybe you don't say yo, but yeah, share your experience next week. See how it changes your day. See how you notice your center of attention stabilize just a little bit, and see how that feels. And I bet you it'll feel real good. We'll see you next week. We'll see you on Tuesday, 6 p.m. every week on Tuesdays, 6 p.m. Pacific time. We do guided meditation. We talk about meditation. So I will see you back then. Thank you everyone so much for being here. Thank you to the Ovoid crew in chat, and Vian and Barry. Thank you to everyone who came and visited, said hello, shared their experience. Thanks to everyone who's tuning in on all of our socials and channels. I hope that you all have a wonderful day or night, wherever you are in the world, that's full of love and kindness. Take care, y'all.